How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel for a brand new video. So today I got another Tekken 8 character guide for you. This time around we'll be taking a look at Asuka Kazama. This is an introductory course to the character where we will look at the basics on how to play her, cover her key moves, and general game plan. As is the case with all of my guides, I'm going to do my best to keep it simple and clean. Basically, my goal is to give you a practical understanding of the character, so let's go ahead and get started. So what type of character is Asuka? Asuka is a very interesting character. The reason why I say this is because she leans more towards being a defensive character. She's got reversals, she's got parries that can put a stop to your opponent's momentum, but at the same time, she does have very good offensive tools to apply pressure to your opponent. Asuka's running gimmick or joke in Tekken has always been that she hits hard, and that's actually accurately reflected in her damage output, not to mention that she is also heavy on counter hits. I honestly think that she's a sleeper character in this game and not many people are talking about how good she can be. Alright, let's talk about her movement. So Asuka's movement is not bad, but it's not the best. It's just decent. She's got a decent backdash. As you can see, it's definitely not as fast as other characters. She has a decent sidestep, but overall she can be evasive at times, especially when you're inputting a backflip or using some of her moves that have built-in evasive properties. But as mentioned, regardless of this, she's still good at controlling the tempo of a match. Now let's talk about Asuka's key moves, starting with her poking tools. So Asuka has jab strings, she has 1-2, she also has 1-3. In addition to that, she has 1-1. She does have a down forward 1, this move right here. And down forward 1 actually has extensions. You can do down forward 1-2 or down forward 1-4. The key detail to keep in mind about down forward 1-2 and down forward 1-4 is that at the end of that string, at the end of each string, the final hit, they have counter hit properties, which is where the true power of this move, of these strings, lies. And we'll talk more about counter hit properties soon, but I just want you to keep a note of that for now. Other key moves you want to be using with Asuka are forward 4. So this is a safe mid attack. It's homing. Oh, that's not the one. Forward 4, that move right there. It's a homing attack, which means that it tracks and your opponent will not be able to sidestep it. On top of that, on hit, you can dash up and get a combo. You can get a pickup by dashing up and inputting 1+4, just like so. And then you can follow that up with a back forward 2, 3. So keep that in mind. Forward 1. This is a very good move. It's a mid attack, it is safe, and on hit, it leaves you at a huge advantage. In fact, if this move connects, it allows you to get a free follow-up down back 1-2. And as you can see, that's a heat engager. So let me just properly demonstrate it. So forward 1, down back 1-2, and you can get a 3-hit combo for 50 damage, and it activates heat, and already you are at a massive advantage. You are already at 1 before, but with that, it just adds on top of that. I do want to highlight down back 1-2 by itself. So this is a good move. However, it is a bit of a gamble because this attack is a mid-high. So what this means is that if your opponent scopes that out, they are able to duck and launch punish you. However, you do have the option of delaying the high attack. So watch closely. So at normal speed, this is what it looks like. When you delay it, watch. Look at the delay on that. So by delaying this attack, it's actually a good idea because by doing so, you can catch opponents who are trying to duck and launch, punish your attack, and you'll end up hitting them. So let me just go ahead and demonstrate what I mean. So the Asuka computer is going to do down back 1-2 at normal speed, and I'm able to duck and launch. Just like so. However, if the second hit is delayed, she will end up catching me as I'm trying to do my while standing launcher. See, just like that. So in general, down back 1-2, a decent option, but keep in mind it is a bit of a gamble, but you do have the option of delaying it. Asuka also has a down forward 2. This is a standard launcher in which of course you can get a full combo. So keep this in mind always. It's good to be used as a whiff punisher. Let's say you're from this type of distance, your opponent whiffs the move, you could just go ahead and punish them with down forward 2 and get a full combo. One other key move to keep in mind is Asuka's 1+2. That right there, a double palm thrust. Just recognize the animation. This is a very good move. This move is a safe mid-launcher attack. I need you to abuse this move because it's so good. It really is that good. It's safe, it's mid, and it's a launcher. This is recommended to use especially after locking down your opponent with jab strings and pressure. So let's say you're pressuring your opponent, you do some jabs, to do some down forward 1s. At some point, maybe throw this out there once you get them frustrated, and you'll be able to get a full combo. Next up on the list, we have back 3. So back 3 is a good keep out tool. It is actually launch punishable on block, so your opponent can launch it. However, it can be tricky to do so, especially if your opponent's not ready for it, or if the character they're playing as does not have a long-reaching launcher. So keep this in mind. It is a launcher on hit, and if you train yourself to visually see this connect, you can actually follow it up with a 4-3 to get a full combo. Just like that. Next up, we have low pokes. So for low pokes, you're gonna be looking to land down back 3, down 3, down 4, and down 1+2. The reach on down 1+2 isn't the best, so I recommend using this closer to the wall. I do want to highlight down back 3 in particular. So this is a really good move because it has some pushback properties. So one option you can do is you can actually go for consecutive hits on this. You can go ahead and do 2, maybe 3 consecutive hits, and what this does, it builds up your opponent to perhaps maybe press a button on hit. What you want to do ultimately at the end of the day is you want to hit this move and analyze what your opponent does. If you notice that they try to retaliate after getting hit by this, a good option for you to do is you can actually backdash, see what they do. If they try to launch punish you or retaliate, you can actually launch them with a forward 2. Just like that. Speaking of forward 2, this is definitely a good key move for Asuka. Forward 2 is always good to have on deck. You need to be always aware of forward 2 because this is, as you can see, it has very good reach, right? Maybe a little bit too far there, but the point still stands. It has a very good reach. It is very good at using as a whiff punish. So it's going to be your main whiff punisher tool. So let's say you're spacing your opponent, you know, you're here, you're moving back and forth, backdashing a bit, they whiff a move, go for forward 2, get a full launcher. One other great move to keep in mind that you can use as a whiff punisher if your opponent misses an attack is up forward 2. So this right here, the principle of this move is still the same as forward 2. You always want to be on the lookout on opportunities to land that move. So if your opponent misses an attack, you either want to do forward 2 or up forward 2. If you want to be safe, I recommend using up forward 2 because if this gets blocked, you're not gonna get punished, right? You're not gonna get punished. But if forward 2 gets blocked, you will get launched, and that's gonna hurt. Another move that we can't forget about is Asuka's down 3+4. This is her can kicks. This is a launcher, and it can be used to catch opponents who are button happy. A basic example of this would be, let's say you're doing forward 1, right? Let's say you land this move, and then your opponent tries to retaliate after that. You can easily catch them with a down 3+4 to get a full launcher. Just like that. Also, if you have a read and you see a low coming, down 3+4 is a good option to use as it will evade the low and you will get a launcher. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that. Just like that. So what happened there is I knocked down the opponent Asuka down, right? I knocked him over. And if he were to wake up with a low kick, as I've set the dummy to do so, you can approach, down 3+4, get a launcher. One of my personal favorite moves of Asuka is that if you go into crouch and you do down forward 2, she does this. Low sweep, kind of like a swipe of her hand. Keep that one in mind because this has counter hit properties and it allows you to get a free follow-up, which now leads me into her counter hit game. So let's talk about that. Asuka is heavy on counter hits. In general, when you're trying to play Asuka, you're always looking for the counter hit opportunity. You do this by frustrating your opponent with jab strings, lows. You know, go in for jab strings, go in for mids, lows, keep mixing it up. And at some point, your opponent will get frustrated. And the moment they get impatient and they start to try to push buttons, they're trigger happy, you catch them with a big move for a counter hit. And on counter hit, Asuka gets some pretty powerful follow-ups. So we were just talking about full crouch down forward 2, this move right here. So on counter hit, look at the animation change. All right, so I need you to visually recognize that animation, be aware of that. On counter hit, you can actually follow this up with a while standing 1-4. So let me go ahead and show you. Counter hit, full crouch down forward 2, while standing 1-4, 3-hit combo for 44 damage. However, that's not all. You can even get a follow-up after that. Look at that. That's insane. Look at that damage. There are other options you can do to end the sequence. You can do down forward 3 or forward 1. You can also end it with other hits such as down forward 3 or forward 1. Other counter hit follow-ups. You have down forward 1-4. So remember, we talked about this string in the beginning of the video. This comes out of her down forward 1. So from down forward 1, she has down forward 1-4. So the last hit actually gets a counter hit property, like so. Right? And from there, you can go into a full combo. Something like that. 1-1-3. So the third hit has counter hit properties. Just like so. And when you get that move on counter hit, you can actually get down back 1-2. Just like that. Another move you kind of want to fish for to get counter hit would be back 4. So this is a mid poke. It's a knee. And on counter hit, what do you get? A full combo. Defensively, Asuka has a variety of options. She has a parry, and the input for that would be back 1+3. Keep it short, like so, or you can hold the button to extend the parry. Asuka's parry can reverse punches and kicks. Notice how the aftermath changed whether you reversed a punch or a kick. Asuka cannot parry or reverse elbows, knees, or weapon attacks. On the same topic of parries or reversals, she also has sabakis. Back 2+3, forward 2+3. Back 2+3 would be for kicks. Forward 2+3 would be for punches. Up next on the list is Asuka's Naniwa Gusto. This is a new mechanic that was introduced for her in Tekken 8, and I guess you could call it her stance. It's more of a power-up actually, so let me go ahead and demonstrate. You can get this effect from certain moves like forward 2, 1+2. And as you can see, she does the point. And if you look at the top left, like right in the middle left, beneath the life bar, you can see a glowing green circle. This indicates that you have effectively activated her Naniwa Gusto. She can also get this from forward 3+4. So the purpose of this move, of this power-up, is that she gets new properties on some of her moves. For example, forward 1+2. On normal hit, it just knocks your opponent away, right? So look at the animation. This is forward 1+2 by Asuka. It's just knocking the opponent away. I can't really do much after that. If I have Naniwa Gusto activated, the property changes. And watch what happens. So it gives you a tornado property, and what this means is that now you are allowed to approach and get a full combo from that. Another good example would be Asuka's up 1+2. Let me just show you. Let me just do something very basic. Of course I would drop it during the demonstration. Alright, so up 1+2. As you can see, the opponent Asuka basically flipped away from me, and you're not really able to get anything after that. If you have the stance, the power-up activated, all of a sudden the properties of that move change. So watch. So as you can see, there's a new animation. It spikes the opponent down and leaves them stunned on the floor. What this means is that you are effectively able to get a follow-up hit on the ground. Asuka's heat engagers are the following. Forward 1+2. Down 2. Down back 1-2. Sidestep 2. Forward 1+3 into 2. Asuka's punishers. 10 frame, 1-3 or 1-2. 11 frame, standing 4. 12 frame, 2-3. 14 frame, up forward 2. 15 frame, down forward 2. 16 frame, 1+2. 17 frames or worse, forward 2. Crouching punishers. 10 frame, down back jab. 11 frame, while standing 4. 13 frame, while standing 2-1. 14 frame, while standing 1-4. You can get a free forward 3+4 after the while standing 1-4. 18 frames, while standing 3. 20 or worse, up forward 4 at a crouch. And there you have it, an introductory course on Asuka Kazama in Tekken 8 and how to play her. As always, this is meant to give you a good starting point on the character, which will allow you to take that next step into more intermediate tactics and strategy. I hope this helps you out. Let me know what y'all thought. Other than that, I hope y'all have a good day. Stay safe out there, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.